Welcome to the Narrate podcast, where we aim to tell God's story with our lives. We'll be continuing to post the Sunday message each week, but we want to dive a little deeper and offer some content to supplement your life with God, and that's where our Beyond Sunday series comes in. Join Adam and Narrate staff as they provide thoughtful discussions, ideas, and interviews that go beyond the message you'll hear on Sunday. All right, so I am sitting here with Alissa Heaton, who is our brand new student director at Narrate. And so we just wanted to bring her on to just talk a little bit about her role and what she has going on with students, and a little bit more information for anyone that wants to know. So Alissa, first of all, what is a student director? Tell us about that first.
Yes, which is a great question. So our student director is kind of, I get to be in charge of helping facilitate groups for our students from middle school into high school a little bit as well too. And so my husband and I run the middle school youth group, but I'm also here to help support Hannah and Scott and Dwayne and Taylor with the high school groups as well. And just, work with volunteers, make sure all of their training is up to date, make sure everybody is, feels supported, help our students feel like they're a part of the Narrate community, and support them in ways that they need supported as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned the training, that's actually a pretty cool thing, because it's not just like anyone off the street can come, right, and come and volunteer with our students.
Right. Yeah, you have to have your background check, and then we also have the sexual abuse awareness training too that is for all of our volunteers as well. And I know they do it with Narrate kids as well too, so we're continuing that into the upper students, I guess you could say. Yeah, and just making sure that, everyone that's helping your students is going to be helpful for your students, and it's a safe environment for all of them. And and we're also building on, some safety things for your kids for like photo consent and stuff like that, and just getting all those kinds of things set up too. So.
Yep, all the background things that nobody really thinks about but are very important.
Right. And then I'm like, we maybe need to have a lot of these other things in check too. So
that's kind of your job, is to be the mastermind of yes, we have these individual leaders, but you're kind of the one who's overseeing, is everyone doing their training? Right. Are we, following all these safety procedures, that type of thing, which is pretty cool that we have you on board now. That's awesome.
It's exciting. It's been fun so far. So.
Cool. So what is, if you had to sum up your kind of vision for this role, what would you say that was?
I would say my big vision is to just give students a place to feel connected, and build a community at Narrate as well, with not only each other as students, but also bring in, the adults too that, they might see on a Sunday, and but sometimes you feel disconnected when you're the young kid in the room or things like that. So giving them, my vision is just to give them a chance to build relationships and community in both spaces. So
yeah, that makes sense. And you and Jake, you've been working with students for a long time. I mean, this is not a new thing. What kind of got you passionate about helping kids integrate into the church space with the adults?
Well, it's one of those things that it kind of comes from my upbringing too. Is a big part of it was, our youth group was led by parents. We had a youth leader specifically for a while, and then dynamics of the church changed, and then we had just parent volunteers, and so that was a way for us to really see the adults in our church as people, and not just adults.
Sure.
But they, we got to hear more of their stories and how their faith looked and evolved. And so that's kind of what makes me passionate about this, is I want students to have their support in building their own faith journeys. You don't want to shove it down their throats and make them afraid of things, but you want to give them a space to really open up and grow and discover their faith, because it's really a cool thing, and every kid comes to it in a different way. And
fair.
And I think the more exposure you can give them, the better.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, just for them to be able to see adults talk about real life spiritual practice things in a weirdo way.
Right, yeah, it's not that like come to Jesus or you go to hell kind of a way,
Yes.
which can, it works for some people, but it's very off-putting for others.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm one of those people that's always been a little put off by that kind of approach, because I like to, ask my own questions and form my own thoughts in that sense. And so, yeah, just giving them a non-threatening environment to do that, and and just in that community aspect too, where you can see that not everyone is in the same place, and
Right.
we all have different encounters and different things, and faith doesn't look like a cookie cutter for everybody. And
Right, and that's like way more realistic for
Right.
young people coming up to see that things happen, life happens, people wax and wane and grow, and that's cool to give that model to them. That's neat. So what are you most excited about in this role?
I'm really excited to get to just do some fun new things that incorporate middle school and high school together, and just do like some fun activities with all of them, and because that goes to building those two communities together too.
Yeah.
And then just seeing all the new kids. I always love, because I did narrate kids for so long too, that I'm like, oh my goodness, you're already in middle school.
Yeah. I'm
so
sure.
it's
Yeah,
fun
you're
to-
like following some of these kids. Yeah.
And some kids, I'm like, wait a second, like I was with you in kindergarten, and how are you already here? And so it's fun to get all those new conversations and new energy, and so that's a big part of what I'm really excited about, is just all the newness and fun.
Yeah, that would be, and I'm sure it goes both ways. Like, I'm sure they love seeing you,
Right.
Now that they're like getting older and they're in a different space.
Yes.
I love the bit about integrating high school and middle school. Is there any like teasers that you want to give us for events?
I don't know that I have any exact teasers, but I know that there will be something coming up in October, I believe. So it kind of goes off of school calendars.
Oh, yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, so some of those weekends where, most of the schools have a 3 or 4 day weekend, but not everyone does. Those are kind of the weekends where we're like, all right, this is the space for whoever's in town and ready and wants to do it. So I think there's one in October that we'll have, and it'll be a good time, and there will be lots of snacks involved, and
You can always count on the good snacks with Jake and Alyssa.
Yes. We like to feed them and then send them home.
Well, that's really cool. And the idea behind, integrating the two different age groups is just to kind of like let them meet people they're not.
Yeah, that
usually
you don't always
with.
see, and some of the middle schoolers were with some of the high schoolers, and so it's fun to see them again. And and for Jake and I too, it's always like, oh my goodness, you can drive now, like you feel so much older, and it's like it's fun to see them again too, because I'm like, it's been a few years since we've gotten to interact a lot with a lot of them, because we don't bump into them as much, but so it's fun to
sweet.
They just keep growing, and
I know, yeah. They keep getting older, so do we.
Yeah, we can leave that part. We don't get older. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you've had middle school on Sundays now for a couple of weeks. How have the first couple of weeks gone?
They've gone really well. So we had our kickoff, and then we've had one like actual kind of classic Sunday, I guess you could call it. So kickoff was really fun. We had 10 kids, and it was chaos and fun and lots of snacks and chatting and all that good stuff. And then our first official one was really great. We had some good conversations with them and played some fun games, and they got to experience the new middle school sub-soccer game that we got, which was really fun.
That.
Yeah, so it's a sub-soccer. You can look it up and find some really fun things. But it's basically soccer at a table. So it was great for the space, because the ball can't come out of the net and go flying everywhere. So we don't have to worry about breaking lights and such as much. But it's like a soccer game at a table. So they get to sit and play soccer and just have a grand time. And it's hilarious.
Did you know about this game before we had sent you?
No, I only found out about it through when Adam sent me the video of you guys doing it in Kansas City, wherever you guys were.
When we went to the clergy conference, we went to this, it was just like a restaurant brewery place, and they had this like soccer table, and we were like, Alyssa needs to know about this. So we sent a video. I had never heard of it.
I hadn't either. And then I had to laugh, because Sunday Jake was mentioned that the space next to his work is like a personal trainer person, and she was telling him that they just got the sub soccer thing, and he's like, oh yeah, we have one of those. And it was really funny.
So it's the up and coming
yes, it's coming around. There's one other one that I know of in town. So
funny. That's so funny. So Narrate Kids and Youth Group is on the cutting edge.
Yes, we have the things and
of all of the entertainment things.
Yes.
So give us like a little, I know they're all different, but give us like a highlight of like what's a typical Sunday kind of structured like for them.
So we can even just go off the one we just did. So it was lots of fun, and the 4 to 6 hour has been a different time slot because it's not so much like right after dinner to like almost bedtime. It's kind of that midday feel, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so we had this Sunday, actually we had a bunch of birthdays to do birthday treats for. So we had ice cream and we had donuts and we had all these fun treats. And then we had, a fun activity that kind of tied into our lesson, which this time was building towers with marshmallows, and one team got toothpicks to build theirs and one team got thin spaghetti and marshmallows. So I had to make them challenge them a little bit. So that was a fun, chaotic moment. And they're like, we need more time. I'm like, this is all the time you get. I'm sorry. So they had way more fun with it than anticipated, which was good. And then we got to sit down and we watched a video lesson, which was really fun. The guy that is in this video lesson, he's the chaplain for the Dallas Cowboys. So it's kind of funny to see that energy from him. And then we had a little discussion, and sometimes it's a discussion of 2 minutes and then everybody's like, that's all we have to say, and you're like, all right. Sometimes you're talking for half an hour. But it was we have fun discussions, and then we just play some more games, hang out, just be in community with each other. And and
I'm sure that's like kind of the beauty of working with kids that age, is that like you meet them where they're at. Like if that discussion's 2 minutes, right, that's a meaningful 2 minutes, and if it's 30 minutes, then that's a meaningful 30 minutes.
And every like lesson thing that we do, they're all a little different. So like one night the topic might be something that a lot of them have questions on, and some of them are great questions to bounce off each other, and some of them I'm like, I have to come back to you on that one. Like, that's a hard question, and I don't know that I can answer that in this second, which is also really cool, because some of them have really big questions for you, and you're like, I was not prepared for that tonight, but I will come back to you.
But that's such a good model of like, everybody is kind of like figuring out faith, and what does this thing look like to follow Jesus, and what does that mean?
We don't all have the answers, which is part of it, and I'm not going to just make up an answer to make you happy. I want you to, I want to actually spend the time to come back with something that's going to be beneficial to you. And and sometimes there are questions that I'm like, I've never thought about that in my entire life. And I'm like, I guess I don't know. And they find things that you're like, like that's big, but
I bet that's kind of the classic age. They come up with the best things to say.
Right, they do. And then they'll turn around and say something, and you're like, wait a minute, that's also in your brain? Like, just bizarre random things.
Can you think of any of the questions that like most threw you off ever?
Not off the top of my head, but I know I have had some.
Yeah, that you're like, I can't answer that.
Right, it's like, whoa, like that is big, and I'm like trying to think off my head now, and I can't, but
that's cool that you give them that space to ask those questions. Yeah. That's great.
That's what we're here for. And we've done things too where like if you don't want to ask it in front of everybody, like you can just write it down and give it to us, and you can be totally anonymous, and then we'll just say, hey, someone asked this question, and here's
cool.
an answer we had. And
So what's your group size right now this year?
This year we're at 10 kids so far. So and we're always happy to take more and do it. And this year we're all 6th and 7th graders this year. We don't have many 8th graders that have come. So if you have an 8th grader, they're more than welcome to come too.
There just aren't any right now.
Right. And we get to that, like, it's chaotic and loud and crazy and fun. And so we get that that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So if people do have students that are in that age group and they're like, that's chaos and they don't want to do that big group, just reach out. And, even if they just want to have, meet up once a month or something just to chat and have that connection too, that'd be great. And they're always welcome to some of the, bigger events that we'll have that, even if they don't come every week, that's totally fine. Like,
that's nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So even if you show up when we have like a movie night or something, and then that's the only time you come, that's fine.
Yep. Just stretch yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Like you'll be a familiar face at that point, and that's the goal.
That's nice.
So, yeah.
So looking toward the future and moving forward, how can people be involved? What kind of, growth do you guys see happening? What areas do you need help with? What does the future look like?
Yeah, well, we keep getting more and more kids, which is awesome, and that's what we hope for. So we're always looking for help during our group time, so that 4 to 6 on Sundays. And we're also occasionally looking for help in high school too. So if you're ever interested in potentially helping with high school, feel free to reach out. And we might not have a place right now, but it's good to have your name in in the back of our mind for those things.
And helping, is that like actually facilitating the group? Is it like setting up? What are the different roles?
I would say we have 3 roles. So we have a role for setup, which, it's about 45 minutes of your day. So if that's doable for you, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about dealing with middle schoolers. You can just show up, help us set up chairs and snacks and things like that, and make sure everything's ready for them, and then you can peace out and have fun the rest of your day. So that is an option. Teardown is also a great option, because we do have to then pick up after all of these kids, which they're good at picking up their own messes, but there's always things.
Yeah.
And that's a great role too if you're a parent of a middle schooler and you want to help.
Nice.
If when you come to pick them up, just say, hey, we're gonna stay. I don't think we've had a tear down that's taken more than 30 minutes yet. So
nice.
And extra hands make light work. So that's always helpful too. But that's a great place for for parents of students. And then as far as volunteers during our group time too, we're looking for a few more. Mostly guys who are willing to hang out with middle schoolers, because our ratio is, we have out of 10 we had 4 girls and 6 boys.
Okay.
So if we can find another guy or two who'd be willing to just hang out, play games, listen to kids, get to know them, and play games, get to know them, eat snacks. You can eat too.
Good role model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then and I'm in the works of getting what does volunteering look like a handbook kind of thing that just kind of gives you an overall understanding of what that role entails.
Sure.
So that you're not like, what do I do? It's kind of laid out for you. And a lot of it's relational. It's not like you have to, give a message to these kids and that kind of thing. Exactly. Like you get to show up and hang out and be present and build relationships with these kids too. And also, every once in a while you might want to head up our discussion, and that would be awesome. But yeah, it's those things. And, each kid is different. Like some of them might feel more comfortable asking different people questions. Not every guy wants to ask me a question, which is fine. Which is
kind of where the whole precedent for like if we had a few more guys,
exactly,
some of the kids would feel more comfortable.
And with that big ratio, it's just nice to give them more faces too. So even if you can't serve every single week, we do ask that you're consistent. So even if it is every other week, that's even a lot of help too. So
fair.
So
I'm hearing that you will guide them. They don't have to like come up with content. No. They don't have to, it's mostly if you're hearing this and you're like intrigued, your presence is really the most important thing.
And we will help you from there. And that's one big thing that, because Jake and I kind of were first thrown into this expecting a little bit more of that and didn't have as much of that, and that was a whole behind the scenes thing that we didn't see at the time, which is totally fine, but that's part of like I want to be able to supply that support to people now. And having understood that before, I was like, okay, we know what you need and what scares people, and so I want to make sure that that's not what stops you from volunteering.
Fair. And that's really valuable that like you've literally been there.
Yes.
So you have
we've lived through trial and error. We know what's up, and so we want to help you.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you're in good hands is what you should take away from that. If you're intrigued by helping with these groups, helping set up, tear down, hang with the kids, Alissa is very experienced in what she does, and she would be happy to help you figure out how you want to do that. What about students? If there are kids listening that are like, hey, this sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have room for them? How do they get involved?
We have room. You can just show up on Sundays. If you're a middle schooler, you can show up on Sunday from 4 to 6 at the 326 space. If you have high schoolers that are interested, you can email me or any staff, really. And we'll get you connected with those groups. Since there are a few different high school groups, we'll fit you in with those. But really, you can just, feel free to reach out. Parents can reach out. And you just have to show up, and then we'll help you from there. So,
yeah. And it's kind of the same in high school. There's no is it sophomores?
There's,
at the moment?
I think there's one that's joined a group. Yeah, I think there's one that's joined a group. And so, and we get it's hard, especially with high school, the scheduling and all of that. And so if it doesn't work for you schedule-wise, we have room to grow and figure out on that stuff too. So
find a place that will work for you. It will be a good fit for you.
If the need is there, we will figure it out.
That's cool.
That's kind of the thing. Is like we don't know it's a need until we know it's a need. So
yeah, it's cool. You guys can be flexible, but that's also part of the reason for the reaching out to see if anybody wants to help, because I mean, it's to be sustainable for you guys with your own family and your own kids, and if we can just kind of bulk up that team of people that want to help you set up and clean up and all that stuff and help, it would just help make our student program really big and vibrant, which is your vision.
Strong and fun for kids. So and if kids are like, childcare is something that prevents you from potentially volunteering, that is something that is a way you could volunteer, is to watch kids, or we can work out childcare as well too, because we also have children. So
right. Watch your kids or the kids of someone who's helping.
Exactly. So we don't want having small kids to be in the way either, because they're fun, but
Right, but it's a lot.
It is, and getting babysitters every week is crazy. So there are ways that we can work that out too for people who want to volunteer.
Sure, that's a good thing to note. So if you're like, I don't want to, help lead the middle school group. I don't really want to set up, but I could watch kids. Watch people's kids. That's another great way to get involved.
Exactly. Awesome. Probably wouldn't be more than 4, but we won't make you watch 10 kids. So
good to know. Good to know. That's great. Okay, so set up, there's tear down, there's leading groups, and there's watching kids of people who are leading the groups. If you want to get involved, just send Alissa an email.
Yeah, and you can expect to come and get to release your inner child. So
play some sub-soccer.
Sub-soccer. We play board games, card games, you name it. We do all kinds of random
and food
stuff. And food.
And snacks.
Yes. And that's always fun too, because sometimes there's snacks you wouldn't keep at your house.
The only chance you ever get to eat some of those snacks.
Exactly.
So if you have questions, if you want to help, if you have kids who have questions, reach out to Alissa. She's at alissa@narratechurch.org. She'd be happy to there's no commitment necessary. You can even just have a conversation with her, and she'd be happy to sit down with you. And we're just really grateful to have you, and then by extension, Jake as well.
Yes, he gets rubbed into it too, and he has fun.
So thanks for joining our team. We're happy to have you. Anything else you want to share?
Not that I can think of, but it doesn't have to be a commitment when you send out that I'm interested. We'll talk and we'll figure that out and see what works best for all of us. So
nice. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
If you'd like to learn more about Narrate Church, find us online at narratechurch.org.
You can also look us up on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for listening.